Well, good afternoon, beloved. This is your girl Sharon once again from my front seat. And here I am giving God all praise, honor, and glory for what? For a brand new day. Today it is Thursday. Today is the 6th of June, 2019. Gracefully, the Lord God is carrying us what? Through this month. And for that, through the year actually as well. And for that, I'm glad. So, I think late 80s, early 90s, maybe somewhere in the early 90s, they started like with an attitude. So I've been trying to get myself an attitude when I put my wig on. I kind of push that up. See if I can make an attitude. My sister Tracy said I need a little less attitude. So, but nevertheless, we are here, beloved. Thank you for your tolerance, your patience on today. I had an early morning doctor's appointment, and because I take the bus into LA, I thought it best for me. I'd rather leave out early, have an early appointment so I can get back, by afternoon, as opposed to an afternoon appointment getting back in the evening. So I am here. That of course y'all know I had to watch television. I had to take a nap. Oh my goodness. Okay, so today is the 6th. So we're looking at Proverbs number 6. Now here in Proverbs 6, the first few verses, actually verses 1 through 15, warnings against idleness and falsehood. And then verses 16 through 19, 7 deadly sins. And then verses 20 through 35, warning against adultery. So here we have that Solomon, he's again speaking to his son. And first he started off by saying, son, be wise. He says, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger, thou art snared with the words of thy mouth, thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. So he's saying here, son, do this now. Deliver yourself from that. Deliver yourself from that. When thou art come into the hand of thy friend, go, humble thyself and make sure thy friend. Here he's saying, don't take on another person's debt. Now, so we've talked about this before, and it seems like each week or each month as we go through it, it gets a little bit more plainer. Okay, so say for instance, you have a friend who has a $10,000 debt, okay? And you go to that lender and you say, you know what? I'm going to pay their debt. That's one thing. Say for instance, you have a friend and there's something they need to do. And so you go to the lender and say, you know what, I'm just going to be their open line of credit. Just let them get whatever. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to pay. Here Solomon is saying to his son, if you're in a situation like that, get out of it. If you have, shaken hands with a stranger for someone else's debt, go to that friend and say, you know what? I've done it as long as I can, but you have to release me of this. I cannot be responsible for that. So it's one thing if you know this is the dollar amount, you know what? I'm going to pay that for you. It's another thing to say, you know what? Whatever they come and do, I'm going to be responsible. He's saying to his son, don't do that. And if that's what you've done, get out of it. But then also, he gives his son instructions to follow the ant. And he says here in 6, that slugger, the ant, actually talking about who the lazy person. Two important lessons from the ant. The ant does not have, a taskmaster standing over them telling them what to do. The ant knows what needs to be done now in the summer because the ant recognizes winter is coming and I'm going to be hungry. So that ant doesn't have a ruler over them. And then that ant does what? That ant works. And he gets the job done. So he's encouraging his son to be like the ant. Don't just fold your hands sitting there idle. The scriptures go on also to say, because when you do, it's like a man who's gone on a far trip, just always going, never putting anything away. You're just going to end up broke. Poverty will come. You can sit and twiddle your thumbs all you want. Even if you're living off of a trust fund, still, once that trust fund is gone, it's gone. And so he's saying you have to be wise and you have to be busy. I know nowadays people say, oh, you should have multiple streams of income coming in. And perhaps that is wise. I guess that's something you got to figure out for yourself there, if that's doable or possible. But he's encouraging his son, do not be like the ant. Summer is going to come. That ant gathers food. And he said, how long you going to sleep? How long are you going to just go through what you're going through? Frowardness is in his heart. He deviseth mischief continually. He soweth discord. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. He's talking here about that evil person, that wicked person, wink in the eye. He's saying, look out for that. And so if you were to read like 12 through 15, a naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eye. He speaketh with his feet. He teacheth with his fingers. So that's that evil, that person, devising evil. And he's telling his son, be mindful, stay away. 7 deadly sins. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among the brethren. So those first 5 there, things that we can do with our body, rolling our eyes up. A friend of mine from work told me one day, she said, she had gone, she was invited to go to church with one of her children. And, she said she reluctantly went, but then she was glad that she did go. She said, and when she got there, she said, rather than lifting my eyes, I lifted my heart. And beloved, so often we lift our eyes, in pride at situations, when all we really need to do is lift our hearts to the Lord. Lift our hearts, humbly go before the Lord. Okay. So those things that we do, the proud looks, the lying tongues, hands that are all into stuff they ain't got no business being into, feet running to see what the issue is. But then those also that shed innocent blood and mischief, run into it, sowing discord amongst the brethren. God hates that. So when we hear hate, those things that bring no good, God rejects that person or people with those traits. So Solomon is admonishing his son, and so we must be admonished as well, not to fall into those 7 sins. I know all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Beloved, there are some things, however, by the grace of God, if we want to overcome them, we can overcome them. We just have to truly, and this hits home for me, how badly do you want it? What's more important, glorifying God or just going willy-nilly in your feelings? All right. Then verses 20 to 35, he gives us a warning against adultery. And we know adultery is a married person engaging sexually with someone other than their mate. Well, guess what? Fornication, it falls in the same category as well. My son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually about thine heart and tie them about thy neck. Here we find that Solomon is giving now in these verses that third warning against adultery. We talked about it yesterday, perhaps even the day before. Here again, he's giving that warning, and he's saying, the first thing to protect when it comes to this, we would think it's the body. Beloved, it's the mind. Because once it's in the mind, it's there. And so he's telling his son there, first protect your mind against it. Get your mind in the right place. Don't let your mind even go there. Beloved, sometimes I got to start singing, yield not to temptation, for yielding is sin. Each victory will help you, some other to win. And we have to have that reminder not to go that way. And again, temptation does not come from the Lord. So then he's saying here, also that there is a folly foolishness when it comes to adultery. He's saying here in verse 24, keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her, shall not be innocent. Here he's saying, stay away from the whorish woman. And when you find yourself going that route, be it the woman, be it the man, we really have to look at it for what it is. I know oftentimes we get caught up in situations, but we cannot afford to allow ourselves to get caught up in situations. And I say that not pointing fingers. I say that speaking personally because I know where God has brought me from. And here's Solomon. So I'm not the man. So I guess I would have been what? That whorish woman. It just is what it is. And so you think, you a whore? Were you a whore? Maybe not in that sense. I didn't have sense enough to get paid for it. Just giving it up for free, giving it up for free. But here we find what Solomon is saying to his son, stay away. Why? Because all these tantalizing things that are there, it's only going to lead you down a road that you really don't want to go down. And so, many a good man, he's saying, has been brought down to what? Just a little old piece of bread. Little old piece of bread. Can you take fire in your bosom? Can your shirt be caught on fire and you not get burned? Can you walk on hot coals and your feet not burn up? Now, I know if you with Tony Robbins, they be walking on hot coals and stuff and feet don't get burned. Why? Because it's all in the mind. It's all in the mind. And this is what Solomon is saying here to his son. Protect your mind from these things. Okay. Then he's also going on to say, you go into your neighbor's wife, whomever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Do men despise a thief when they're stealing to eat? Well, a thief is a thief, right? But you can almost understand, man, I was just trying to get me a piece of bread, trying to get something to feed my babies. But then it goes on to say, but when he gets caught, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give the substance, what? Of his house. So we may think that you're doing it and it's all right. Beloved, you're not. It's not doing it and it's not all right. Verse 32 says, but whoso committeth adultery with the woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest him many gifts. The commentator says here, a thief may satisfy his victim with an appropriate payment, but an offended husband cannot be bought off. That offended husband, he may forgive. He can't be bought off, although you given a whole lot of gifts. So, beloved, here again, Solomon, he's warning his son about the immoral woman. You know what I'm about to say? Let me get off this phone. I put my wig on to do my post. So y'all know it's hot up in here, So the wig is coming off as soon as I hit stop. This is your girl Sharon. So I got my stitches out today. So this is where they went in the wrist. I had 4 stitches there, or sutures there. And then this is where they went in at the thumb, or maybe this way, and I had 2 stitches there. So they did take the stitches out today, and this week or next week I'll start therapy. And so the doctor did a lot of manipulation of the wrist today, so it really bothers me. It does. But the pain medicine they gave me was some narcotics, and like I told Tina, I done left them narcotics alone. Yeah, I don't like the way they make me feel. So I just been doing extra strength Tylenol. So we're going to see how that works. This is your girl Sharon. I'm out, y'all. if it be the Lord's will, we'll meet again on tomorrow from my front seat. I'm out. Deuces.